All right.
I declare us out of executive session at 6:24. Okay, item number 38.0, motion to approve the MOU with Onward Learning. Motion by Carrie, do I have a second? Second by Dallas. Board discussion.
Based on the legal advice and the board discussion, there's a concern about the MOU being enforceable. The concern about the lack of certified staff. The October 15th funding deadline would come out of Bennett County's general fund, and the budget has already been approved. Impact aid is submitted on January 31st, 2026, and child count money would be from 2024-25. Onward Learning would be accountable to the state and not to Bennett County.
Any further board discussion? Okay, I'm going to ask for a roll call. Go ahead.
Caleb? No. Ryan?
No.
Abby? No. Dallas? Michael?
No. Motion fails. Item number 39.0, administrative and committee reports. The only thing I have to report is last meeting of the Tours Co-op. The schools decided to dissolve the co-op. And effective, actually it's going to be effective October of next year. They'll finish the fiscal year, but they need the 3 months at the end to get everything cleared up and audit and everything else. So the Three Rivers Co-op is going to be done by next July. Our executive director has retired. So right now, our business manager is actually acting as a executive director right now. So they will have the in-service at Dakota, and Julie will still be somewhat involved with that. So, okay, that's all I have. Questions? Carol.
September 5th, the groundbreaking ceremony for the Bennett County Hospital was held, and later in that afternoon, I attended the community roundtable discussion with Representative Dusty Johnson out at Souls. It was very informative, very good. October 5th through the 11th is the 2025-26 homecoming week. And the calendar, the homecoming calendar was in there, so you know what's going on. Staff development, September 5th was building level in service, and then in the afternoon, they were working on data analysis and standards alignment. As you know, we're very concerned about the curriculum and scores, so we're starting to work on that to make sure that our students are making progress in those areas, and we're getting them what they need for our curriculum. Staff development, October 17th, like Mike just said, is the Three Rivers All District in service. It's going to be very good in service, it'll be fun for us, and then all 5 school districts go to that. The afternoon's going to look a little bit different. Julie just has emailed. I had recommended maybe we do content meetings, so each of the small schools would have some other content areas to meet with other than just like Bennett County staff, so they will work on that. School enrollments, the elementary has 208, middle school 85, and the high school 139. committees and meetings. The Buildings and Grounds Committee met to discuss the various ongoing projects and received an update from Dean Kurtz on where we're at with those different ends that we're tying up. And then also, if you've noticed, the artificial turf, the gravel even looks better at this point, but the turf crew was supposed to get here today and start putting turf down as well. Curriculum and grants, the district literacy team, we submitted a grant and we were supposed to go by the end of August. Got an email on Monday. Now they're saying we should know by September 19th. So we're still waiting to hear on that. We've heard really nothing. Work is underway on the Bennett County Curriculum Support Plan, and it's to develop sustainability and framework for all content areas. So we want a frame that we can use for math, PE, any content area. And looking to the future, so that's there for us. Facilities and grounds, east side of the commons area landscaping improvements continue. There's an issue with the drainage pipe back there. They were going to come and put it in, but it's not as level as they thought, so to the drawing board on that. As I said, artificial turf is starting. If you've noticed, the roofing on the Legion is being done. We're still working on the plans for the #1 diesel bulk tank and the new bus barn. And on September 3rd, they did a turf tank training. If you have been around or heard anything, they're pretty excited about how that works and painting the football field. They'll also paint parking lots. They'll do a few other things too. So that was pretty exciting. Saves us, that staff, a lot of time. In the stadium, the last football game got a little entertaining. So the lift station parts came in today. We're hoping they're the right parts because it's an old system. So they're going to be working on that. We'll see. Hopefully they match up well. And the containment tank has been drained. So those are good things. Busing, we should have a bid, or we have a bid for the 35 passengers. So we're moving forward on that. And then we also secured a new handicap accessible bus through the Sourcewell, so you don't have to do the bids, and that should be here in November. So keep working on updating the fleet for the district. Any questions?
Thank you, Carol. Carrie.
Okay, so I ran our attendance, and granted it's just a 2-week of August, but what I looked at was that we were at 92.13%, which was compared to 89.44 last year. And we do have quite a bit more students in our enrollment. So it was nice to see that was a good start to the school year for our attendance. Our testing data, the students completed their district star reading and math assessments. In reading, they showed a strength in vocabulary and language across all grades 9 through 12. And an analytical critical thinking skills was identified as an area of need. In math, the strand of statistics and probability shows the highest performance across all grades, but even so, our data demonstrates 75 to 80% of students are not meeting grade level expectations. So there's a big concern there. For student happenings, the lifetime wellness class got several weeks at the Martin swimming pool, and they were learning their swimming skills. They finished the unit by jumping in with their clothes and their shoes on, and then learned how to use those as resources to save themselves in an emergency situation. There was a lot of positive feedback from the kids with that. Sophomore world history students engaged in a project-based learning by creating dioramas of life, daily life, ancient civilizations. And the neatest thing about that was that project work caught the attention of other classes, and they were so impressed with the students' works that they had to make sure that they used good times telling the kids how impressed they were with the work and the dedication and detail. So it was really nice to see that positive support from students to students. In our students' happenings, our staff did an in-service to review our testing data and identify patterns, strengths and needs, as well as generate cross-curricular strategies and possible working accommodations to support math and reading for all students across curriculum. We'll continue to meet and develop those plans into fruition. Bennett County High School is accepted as a grant school into the Educator Rising program thanks to the work of Ms. Andrea Fanning. Several students have already expressed interest in taking part in the Teachers Assistance Program, and that is supporting them through as they are potentially interested in becoming teachers themselves. So kind of a grow your own sort of program. So I'm really excited about trying to make that work.
Any questions?
I want to revisit the study hall thing. At the last meeting, you said that the students were abusing it last year, later on. Who was in charge of that room at that time?
We had a staff member that was hired as a para that was hired as an observer in that classroom, proctoring that.
Are they hired this year?
They are hired this year in a different position,
So how's that going in a different position?
much better. I have staff members that are very excited to have that person in their classroom. They say that the level of focus is better in their classes, that the students are getting extra assistance because there's an extra person in there that can answer questions more personally.
What's the eligibility looking like for the high school?
Very good. We have one on probation this week,
Only one?
one on probation, and maybe one ineligible if I'm right. So 2 kids on our list. So, and it's been very low.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the seniors, when are they supposed to have time to meet with the counselor for scholarships?
The counselor goes into 2 different classes all year long for different times of the year. So one of them goes into their personal finance class, which all seniors are in at the same time. So the counselor sees all the kids at the same time in that class period. That's also the class that they work on their scholarships in.
Personal finance relates to scholarship.
It does, because that is a funding.
Sure.
Yeah. So they do that in class.
And then like, let's say for instance, like Blair, my son, he had to pick up 2 extracurriculars that he has to be passing grades to play. How is that fair when he's got enough credits without them? You're stacking on a load on seniors that it shouldn't be, in my opinion.
I understand, but I also know that we've been discussing the rigor and making sure that our kids are ready for life outside of high school. And so if we're increasing the rigor, it's not a bad idea to have them exposed to different areas that they can build their skills in. We have other opportunities. We've spoken with students about, work study programs and things like that. So we have other different things that are available to them. I'm not sure exactly what he's taking for his course load, but, if you want to come visit me, I'm sure they welcome you.
Yeah, it's full. Being a student athlete and stuff, I think study halls are very important.
We do have lots of opportunities for them to come in and work with us, and I know that that doesn't work for everybody's schedule. I respect that.
Yeah.
So
Because you mentioned Friday, right?
we do have opportunities for Friday schools.
So,
We do have working lunches. We do have before school. We do have after school, which doesn't always work from their schedules for student athletes. I know that.
but if it's a working lunch, that's their lunch period.
It is.
That shouldn't be reserved for school work. If you're trying to produce young adults, right?
You're welcome to come visit with me a little bit more if you want to on that, and the schedule, but we also met with the seniors when they were doing senior proposals, and that was one of the proposals was study hall. Some of the factors that were brought up weren't clear factors that were doable, but, we're not afraid to listen to what the kids are saying, and the staff did need to discuss some different ideas.
Did
So,
that pass for their senior study hall?
because we can't function with what they want to do. We
Did
can't,
study
in the
hall?
middle of a quarter, we can't take classes and change schedules around like that.
What is the freshman and sophomore seminar? What is that?
Freshman and sophomore seminars are classes that are built to increase student skills. And those skills are in a variety of areas. Some of it is in their social, emotional capacities. We found that a lot of our students weren't able to regulate some of their emotions very well and try to figure out, how to handle those situations, especially with other students. So we're trying to help them build those skills. We also are working on study skills. They're working on note taking and working on goal setting. They are learning how to use planners. I know that some of the students are very adept at planner work, but some are not. So we're trying to give them those goals and those skills that they can use beyond high school, that's used all the way through high school. Our initial idea was to try to have a seminar course for all grade levels, but that wasn't something we could fit into the schedule this year.
So you want to teach them study skills with no study hall.
But they need to know how to use their time wisely. And so that's part of what they're learning in there. And in the seminar courses, they do get time to use those. So they go ahead and use their planners, they set those goals. They might look at the long-term projects. They sort out those times, and then you'll get time in that time to work on a few of those things.
Do the juniors, seniors get that option too?
We don't have that available in our schedule this year. I couldn't cover it with staffing.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Carrie. Okay,
I also, with my attendance, I actually have 2 more students, so we're at 87, so 85, we added a couple more kids, and we're at 91.9% attendance, which is really actually pretty good for the beginning of the year. One of the students that just showed up was actually on our attendance before, but because he actually never stepped foot in our school, that doesn't count against us. So we actually get to, from the date that he started, is when his attendance actually starts. So that's a good thing, so we don't diminish our attendance. We also did the STAR testing. The Renaissance program that we use for our testing through the district has a really good component with it that can help you kind of plug in, it gives you what the data means instead of just seeing what the data is. And so that's what I provided you there. It has basically an AI assistant that can tell you different things. And what it's showing in both reading and math is that what we're doing in the middle school by 8th grade is increasing our numbers. So the strategies that we're doing with the 6th and 7th graders is showing in 8th grade. So our proficiency rates are going up by what we're teaching them in the middle school. I did put in here how many books we read last year in each grade level with how many students. We read tons of books, which is great. Just the one concerning thing for me was the book level. The average is below middle school level. So we want to increase that. We want kids to be reading more middle school level books instead of, but we want them to also be comfortable with reading. So that's why we let them read what they want to read, but we want to increase their ability to read higher level books. In the student happenings, middle school, with the students presented their speeches last week, and the kids voted on who was going to be, of course, president, vice president, and all those different officers. But then if they didn't get picked as an officer, they're still asked to participate in student council. So they did that last week. Great job on their speeches, and they had their first student council meeting today. We're going to be doing an attendance competition since the homecoming theme is based around dinosaurs. I found a T-Rex skull at Hobby Lobby. And so that is going to be our traveling trophy. So every week we're going to look at the wear hours, and whoever has the best attendance for that week gets to have the skull. We're going to keep the chart up on the wall, and then probably at the end of the semester there'll be some kind of prize. And at the end of the year we'll do some shout outs. That's what I have.
questions? Thank you, Michaela. Melissa?
So, like Carol said, our student enrollment is 202. And that's including preschool too. And something that we kind of talk about is just being good with our low numbers in each grade level, so those kids can get some one-on-one. We're looking at schedules a lot where our aides are pulling kids one-on-one and working on those test scores.
So going into our test scores, I gave you the data and I can read it off. So level 1 means the lowest, then level 2, level 3, and level 4. And so if we're looking at reading, we've got, in level 1, we got 33%. And then level 2 is 18, level 3 is 25, and level 4 is 24. So it looks kind of even across the board. So we take our star reading data and we look at their scores and we start pulling individual kids reading one-on-one. That's something we kind of are working really hard, is getting those kids just some extra reading time. Our math scores look almost the same again, evenly spaced out between all of the levels. So what we're doing for math in 4th and 5th grade is the Think First program, and it's an AI generated questions. We plug in scores and skills, and as they answer the questions, it formulates ways to help the kids answer those questions. So that's what we're doing at the 4th and 5th grade level. But in the lower, we're doing a lot of hands-on, like small groups, flashcards. We've had kindergartners already doing addition problems, and so we're pretty proud of that, that kindergartners are already adding. Some student happenings is, I'm trying to figure out some dates that'll work across the district for Missoula's Children's Theater. And we're kind of looking at April 27th and May 2nd. Joyce Wilson has a group that is willing to give us a grant to help pay for that. So we're waiting to kind of hear from her before we actually lock down those dates with the Missoula's Children's Theater. So that's kind of exciting. Tomorrow morning, September 11th, we're going to gather at the flagpole at 8 a.m. and we're going to raise the flag, say the pledge, and kind of give a little history of what September 11th is. We have Constitution Day, which is on the 16th, and the government class is coming down, and they're going to teach lessons to each of the grade levels. So that's going to be pretty exciting to see what the high schoolers have planned for our kids. We have a family fun night on September 18th, and it's focusing on literacy, and I posted some things on our school website. Picture Day is coming the 23rd, parent-teacher conferences. On October 1st, I had a person that reaches out, and it's called Walk to School Day, and what they basically do is just provide information to our elementary kids on how to get to school safely, like how do you cross the street, riding your bikes, what do you do? And so they've got some resources that are gonna have us pass out on October 1st. We've got 2 grade level breakfasts planned. On October 2nd is the 4th grade and the 3-4 math room. And then on October 9th is the 5th grade breakfast, and we'll focus on that. We're looking at making some packets to send home with the families, teach the families how to use them, and then send them home. Homecoming week, of course, and then kind of starting to make plans for the district-wide pepper rally as well. I think that's about it.
Questions? Thank you, Melissa.
You guys can see my report, so I'm not, and most everybody covered everything anyway. So, one of the things, October 17th in service, Jerry Brooks is coming to speak. I'm not sure who Jerry Brooks is, but in the education world, it's kind of a big deal. So he's kind of entertainer slash, he is a principal, I believe, currently. So I'm excited to see him. I think it'll be fun. And then I just wanted to read, we have not heard anything on a literacy grant yet, but this came from the state. Thank you for your submission for the ELA South Dakota grant program. We are currently in the process of reviewing all applicants. As part of the process, we have been reaching out to some districts to discuss any necessary revisions or clarifications. I take that as a good thing, hoping that ours just looks so darn good that they don't have any questions and it's going to go through. And they gave us the September 19th for people. So hopefully by the next board meeting, we will know if we it enough, which I think Tim was asking me what is included in that literacy grant. A lot of it's professional development for our staff. There's been a big push for the science of reading. Intervention, family engagement, how to incorporate, and I think families and our school we're a small community. We would work together on supporting our families, helping their students at home as well, just as much as we do what we do at school. So.
Questions? Thank you, Amy. You should have Amy's report. Anybody have any questions? That deal with that? Okay. Joe, anything? Item number 40.0. Motion to approve the final 2025-2026 budget with the following changes. Change in Title 1 to $1,060,391. Indian Ed, $75,931. RLIS, $25,068. REAP, $372,094. FF&B, $20,815. And IDEA, $174,032. Motion by Dallas. Do I have a second?
Sorry.
Second by Ryan. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 41.0, motion to approve the tax levy request for 2025-2026 school year with the opt-out amount. Opt-out, $250,000. General fund ag, 1.125. Owner occupied, 2.518. Other non-ag, 5.211. Special education, 1.462. Motion by Dallas. Do I have a second? Second by Caleb. Discussion, board discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 42.0, motion to approve the following surplus. 2008 Bluebird 73 passenger bus, 2017 Viper floor scrubber, 2020 laminator, MGS broken, 4 Chromebooks, BCHS broken, switch, BCHS, iPad, BCHS, 2 airports, BCHS, 2 projectors, BCHS, 4 MacBooks, BCHS, Prometheum board, BCHS. Motion by Kelly. Do I have a second? Second by Abby. Board discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 43.0, motion to approve Preston Rosane live stream advisor, $2,002 for the 2025-2026 school year. Motion by Ryan. Do I have a second? Second by Abby. Board discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 44.0, motion to approve open enrollment for students for the 2025-2026 school year. 44.1, a BCHS student, and 44.2, a BCHS student. Motion by Dallas. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ryan. Board discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 45.0, motion to approve the following volunteers for the 2025-2026 school year. 45.1, Justin Rissy, BCHS football. 45.2, Jeff Thayer, BCHS football. 45.3, Laura Jewel Huddleston, dance. And 45.4, Faith Cross, dance. Motion by Kelly. Do I have a second? Second by Abby. Board discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 46.0. Motion to accept the resignation of Elvin Bayes, effective immediately with a negotiated agreement penalty of $2,500. Motion by Caleb, do I have a second? Second by Abby. Board discussion.
But yes,
Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Same sign.
I got you.
Motion carries.
What one would you?
Item number 47.2, open bids for the new 35 passenger coach bus with possible action. That's the specs there.
That with the group,
Is SDLC.
Okay, this is from Foreman. 2024 new 35 passenger 70 passenger Chevy. 243,900. That's without the grill. And the same thing, but with the grill, 248,400.
Two, one,
4,500.
two. Look at this one.
That's all we have for the bids.
Yes, that's the number. But they meant the specs exactly what they're. I don't know.
I'll just say that. With my most, no.
Oh, that much money, it should.
I wrote on that bus.
It's a smaller bus with air conditioning, so it will fit in our current bus barn.
It does have.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It's smaller and it'll still fit, next year. When we have the bus barn, we'll get a big bus.
And this is the one that looks kind of like. AC unit. AC unit, just like a yellow.
I think it's, don't tell me, I think it's white, isn't it? Does it say the color white?
But it's like the newer ones, like the third type of that have it. Like, is it semi from? Is that what you mean?
The no one's like that.
It's not like a big.
It's not a coach.
Do you just want to picture
It's-
it?
No, it's not a chart.
Yeah.
it does have a- Is it white?
I don't know what you think.
No, of course.
I think these are white, not yellow, because remember Aaron said that they can't stop on the roadside. and pick people up. So,
Anybody want to make a motion on accepting the bid?
you know, do which one you want.
You guys want to look at this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that under 3. Oh, sorry, my bad. So the one they used for Mary Jo was the 2. No, they used the air document. They didn't specify what.
But I'm just thinking, what I changed.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Actually, number 3 should be loud.
That's it? Or one of those things?
Oh, come on, you guys. Just working.
For discussion.
Walking forward.
can't remember that soon, they have one, that's why, so I was thinking October, but don't hold me, that would be good. Yeah, that's why we're looking at this particular one, what Aaron communicated with them, they have that. So, right, sweet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's-
That's what? 3 are for the language test? Yeah.
I'll make a motion to purchase the bus with the girl.
With the grill,
With the group.
I'll second.
We got a motion by Caleb,
and second by Dell,
second by Dallas to purchase
bus with the
the
grill.
bus that has the grill. Board discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Yeah, give that to
When you're done, you can.
Item number 48.0, I need a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ryan, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dallas, board discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Just